Hello and welcome to another episode of Sandy Killer Projects. Today we're going to be working on the 2500, not specifically on an issue that happens with the 2500. We're going to be doing a headlight restoration kit on the 2500, so this can be done on any vehicle with a plastic style headlight. The kit that we have purchased is the Cerakote ceramic coating headlight restoration kit. The reason why we picked this kit was there were 3 at the store. A kit made by Rain-X. The Rain-X kit required to use a drill. Then the other kit that they had was the Meguiar's kit. It had a kit, but then you had to also buy a secondary bottle of the clear coat for it. It didn't really make sense to be buying 2 products to get one job done. So we chose this one. I actually follow another channel that uses this exact same kit, so I'll probably end up tagging their video in the description so you guys can check that one out too. But let's go ahead and get started on this. So the first thing this kit tells us to do is to take some warm soapy water and wash the headlight. So that's pretty much all I'm going to do, just scrub the headlight down good with some warm soapy water, get all the dead bugs and junk off of the lenses. So after scrubbing it a couple of times, I've already noticed a bunch of dirt and junk has come off of the headlights, which is the goal. We want to get these as clean as we can, go on to the next step. Alright, so step 1 on this kit says put on some gloves and rub this oxidation remover around the lenses in a circular motion covering all areas of the lens. It also says don't get it on the paint. There's not much surface area where we're going to have an issue with getting it on the paint, but I'll be extra careful and also mask off the edges to avoid getting it on the paint. I'm not super concerned about this on a 15-year-old truck, but you go around until this one gets dirty. As you can see, it starts removing the oxidation from the lenses. That's what all that brown stuff is there. It's all the stuff that's causing it to yellow. So you just go around it all the way, circular motion. Right, so the final part of this first step is to rinse the cleaner off thoroughly. You can see still oxidation coming out in the towel that we're cleaning it off with. It's going to keep doing this as we go through the process to get these guys clean. Next part of this will be a sanding step. We've got to get all the oxidation remover off of the lens, and it says at this step it should actually look foggy. So for the first part of step 2, we're going to take the red pad, which is a 2000 grit sandpaper, and put it on the little tool that they give you, and we're going to wet the light down, and then we're going to scrub it. Now it says do not scrub in a circular motion, which is really hard to do when you're holding something that's round. So I'm just going to do our best to scrub in a non-pattern motion, and then it says to keep it wet thoroughly, so we're going to keep adding water as we go, make sure that it stays wet, and it says you're going to do this step for a couple of minutes. After completing the first half, the first step with the 2000 grit, I'm assuming that the 2000 grit is to even out the surface. I have a couple of little imperfections in the lens that I actually took a little bit more time and tried to sand them down. As you can see, there's a weird change in the pattern right here. This is probably part of the clear coat issue. So at this point, you remove the red pad, you put on the gray pad, which is the 3000 grit sandpaper. I'm assuming that is going to be to polish the top of this to get it more of a smooth and even surface. So then you just wet everything back out and then polish that for another 2-3 minutes with the 3000 grit sandpaper, and it should even out all the rest of the tone on it all the way around. And again, it says in a not circular pattern. Again, hard to do when you're holding something circular. So just do that for a couple of minutes, go around the entire surface of the light. Make sure to keep it damp. At this point, we're between step 2 and step 3. I've rinsed off the lenses real well to make sure that there's no more stuff on it. You can still see this line of stuff in the lens that never showed up before. This may end up continuing to have a bit of a fog look, but we'll find out. It says to rinse it and then to dry it thoroughly. Something in the ceramic coating stuff is reactive with water, so you don't want any of the water on there. You want to make sure it's thoroughly clean and thoroughly dry. So it actually says at this point it should have a foggy look, which it does, almost etched look. So next we'll apply the ceramic coating. All right, so for step 3, you need to go back into the gloves because this stuff is supposed to be pretty nasty. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on the top. We're going to make our way downward until we get all the way to the bottom. We're going to make sure that we overlap. That's actually what the instructions call for. Once that's done with the headlight all the way across, we're going to let it sit for 1 hour. So we're just going to make nice clean passes, overlapping from one side to the other, all the way across the light. As you can see, I already missed a little there. Not perfect. I'm not a car detail guy, so I don't know if you noticed, most of my cars are usually dirty, including this one. So that looked good. I'm gonna take another pass across it just in case I missed anything, and then I'm gonna let it sit for an hour. So at this point, the lenses have only been sitting for about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, drying, and this is basically what they're going to look like, but you don't want to put your fingers on it until it's dried for at least an hour. So we're just going to leave it like that at this point. So let me show you the difference. This is the completed headlight, and that is what it used to look like. So the process, I'm going to go through this one next. I'm not going to go through the steps on it. I'll just show you when it's done. But that's a dramatic difference. As long as this headlight doesn't fog or yellow or turn any sort of colors, this is a pretty good kit. This is the parts of the kit right here. I'm going to explain some stuff because this is set up for one set on a car. But really when it comes down to it, they give you 2 sets of pads, 2 sets of wipes, 2 sets of oxidation removers. So really when it comes down to it, like, I'm going to use this and this partially used one. I'm going to reuse the sanders, and then I'll use the exact same kit over there. The gloves, they're inconsequential. I have a whole box of gloves, but I mean, you could basically get two sets out of this if you use it right, depending on how oxidated your lenses are. Just to note, I'm already through step 1. This is all the oxidation that came off of that secondary lens. The first one was much dirtier. I ended up using one whole and then a partial, and I thought I was going to end up using this one too, but that one ended up being enough. So you never know, you may end up having more or less oxidation on it. Kit should be able to get you through 2 sets. Right, so here it is completed. The headlight that you're looking at has half hour, 45 minutes of time on it. The passenger side headlight has maybe 5 minutes on it. This headlight, probably because I reused the chemicals to save on them, is a little more streaky. I may have rushed it a little bit. It still is much cleaner than it used to look. There's also some damage to this headlight. It has some cracks down on the inside of it that are sticking out, but ultimately it still looks 10 times better than it did before having done the restoration kit on it. The driver's side headlight, though, it didn't have any of that cracking in the lens, so it actually is a much cleaner, much brighter looking light now. I'm not disappointed with this kit at all. These kits can be found anywhere. Just make sure you follow the instructions. So this is going to do it for this episode of Sandy Killer Projects. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching.